actually apple cider. It's shiny from an orchard in Niagara. What are you drinking this
All right, I
morning?
got myself a non-alcoholic Corona.
Oh, perfect for morning interviews. Cheers. Cheers to a
Salud.
brand new tour.
Cheers to a brand new tour. I love this. Starting the day like this is great. Why don't I drink these at 9 in the morning more often?
Invigorating. Okay, so for my listeners that are not watching, that are just listening in, I'm here with Aaron from the Washboard Union, and I'm just going to blow through some really cool stats. They have over 81 million streams. They've won 9 CCMA awards, and they're the only country group to ever win a Juno for Breakthrough Group of the Year. Earlier this year, they performed at Boots on the Beach in Mexico. How fun was that?
We did that 2 years in a row. We're there for a week, and there's about 3 or 4 days before we even play the show where you'll see our Washboard Union family, and you have these weird instances where you just sort of meet up and start talking to people from around the world who definitely know us, and yet we don't really know them. So we get a chance to sit poolside them and get to know them in a different way. It breaks down the walls of artists on the stage and the fans.
I think it's cool too because like you're there with your other artist buddies and you see them here all the time, whether it's on tour or at award shows or writing in Nashville, but then to see them on the beach is just so like out of element. I think that would be really cool.
And in their bathing suits.
And in their bathing suits, yes. You also performed at River and the Roots Festival, which is closer here to my listeners, but you're getting even closer. You've got a new opportunity to catch the Washboard Union, you guys. They're going to be heading out on their Grab the Wheel and Go tour. So in Ontario, I'm going to fly through these here. The Medicine Shop in Sault Ste. Marie on the 26th of October, Capitol Centre in North Bay the 27th, Meaford Hall the 29th, Georgian Theatre in Barrie on the 30th, Bond Street Event Center in Oshawa November 1st, and November 3rd, the Blythe Festival. You're bringing out Red Hill Valleys with you as openers. Have you got the chance to hang out before?
We have recently at the CCMAs. The cool thing about this tour, we're not on a big stage, and we had to get used to this. Theaters are not people up at the front, hands in the air, screaming, dancing. It's a different situation. So when we first started playing theaters, the reaction after we finished the song wasn't as hype as a summer festival.
Right.
And we're sort of, what are we doing? What are we doing wrong here? Are we connecting? Are you guys into this? And it was kind of awkward in our own head. But we had to realize and come around to the fact that it's a soft seat theater. It's a show. People are sitting down, they're watching a show, there to be entertained.
Yeah.
And so we've really embraced that. So we get a chance to have some storytelling, some stories behind the songs we don't normally play in our summer set, and have some fun with it. So this tour we're bringing out a little something from our past that if you dig deep enough, you can find what the Washboard Union was before. It's really quite funny stuff that started the band, the Grab the Wheel and Go tour, because it's going to be a unique view into the Washboard Union.
Definitely. I think this also would pose like a little bit of a challenge at first too when you're used to doing the other things. Is there any opportunity for a surprise guest? Because I have a theory.
Oh, before I answer that question, I'd love to hear what your theory is.
My theory is you've played with this band a couple of times before. You play their songs a lot. They live kind of close to the Barrie location. So I'm thinking that perhaps, maybe if it's not already in progress, maybe it's something to consider. You have my vote.
Note taken. That's a very good suggestion.
Alrighty, we'll roll along here. Talking about being entertaining and telling stories and everything like that is really cool to make those connections with the audience. When you're actually performing the songs, I know it's like picking your favorite child here, so I'm not going to ask you what's your favorite song, but do you have one that you're really looking forward to performing?
A song that really always gets me going is Feel Like That. Got a really fun vibe to it, and it always sort of sets the stage for me and be like, okay, we're here. If there's feelings on stage, it just sort of melts all the feelings and kind of grounds the band back together.
So your latest release, Band on Her t-shirt, it's on your latest album, Westerly. That's of course going to be on the set list. I don't have Washboard Union, but this is as close as I could get for Band on a t-shirt. I thought we could all agree on Johnny Cash. Is there any clue as to what the attire is going to be?
I can't give away all of our secrets.
Okay. But there's some thought going into your attire.
Yeah, you know us. We always like to have some sort of cohesive look that's individual yet connected.
Out of the three of you, who wears the most band tees?
David's got hundreds of band t-shirts.
Wow, the music video for that, because that looked like a lot of fun. How did that come about?
We go into a t-shirt making factory, which happens to be the actual official merch factory for all of Washboard Union's merch. A great guy named Kaz, he makes all of our stuff there. So we thought it'd be funny if, like, what if we were the ones that went in there to make t-shirts? But being the jackasses that we are, we don't know how to make t-shirts. And so everything that can go wrong does go wrong. At one point, we get some ink on our jackets to make it look like we're actually using the printing machines and that. And it just sort of got a little crazy. Like I put some on Chris, and then Chris splattered me, and we're like, well, that's a little abrupt, you know? So and then he gets Dave, and all of a sudden we're splatting each other with paint. I had it in their beards and everything, and got a little bananas for a bit. It's sort of this weird mix of being funny, but also actually seriously worried about our fingers and our health and safety, because these machines will just knock off limbs.
Yeah, I think it's so cool and different, because making a music video has got to be so hard these days. And that one, because it's so different, it keeps you interested and keeps you keep watching. And even the other part where you're in between the shipping containers, that's cool too. You know, it's something so simple, nothing exciting going on back there, but just different. It's like, oh, what is that? Is that really a shipping container?
I really appreciate you saying that. Back in the early days, you could spend hundreds, if not millions, on a music video. Technology has come a long way, and you don't have CMT, you don't have these networks that show music videos. So like the appetite for official music videos isn't as high as it was, but YouTube is still a very strong place to discover music. And so you need something visual out there. So then what's the answer to throwing a whole bunch of money on something that ultimately no one really cares about or sees? And the odd people who do see it, they still want to see something. So what's the answer to that? And what we came up with was the answer is creativity. So how can you get the most creative in a space and make something cool and interesting? And that turns into story, that turns into narrative, it turns into location. I'm really glad you say that. If you look back, all of our videos have that creative element and are interesting to watch, whether it's humor, whether I wouldn't say drama, we're not the most dramatic actors in the world. The ideas behind the videos are creative. That's what we've had at our core for music videos from day one.
Totally love it. And that's keeping you fresh. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I want to tell my audience to go watch that music video if they haven't already. Get tickets to the concert if you haven't yet.
These are small theaters, so there's not many tickets there. So that suggest getting your tickets immediately, because it will sell out. Thanks a lot for spending some time with us. To your cider, my beer, to your listeners, cheers.